What is going on, everybody? Just want to give you a little update. Got several things to talk about, so I'll try not to ramble too much and get to everything. Just sipping on a Bridgeport IPA, a bottle conditioned IPA. So this ended up in my cooler over the weekend. So thank you, Ken. I think it come from your batch, but had a little gathering at the lake over the weekend for the 4th, and fun times. But got some new toys, got some goodies, and I want to share them with you and give you an update on some other things. Okay, if you saw the last video, you seen that I did get a chest freezer, and I got the Johnson controller. Won't go over all that again. Check out the other video to see that. But I did do my first brew in the bag. It was a Austin Homebrew Supply hoppy pale ale, just a pale ale that's got a little extra hops to it, because I'm a IPA guy, hop head. Love my hops. But one great thing about actually there's this recipe had called for dry hopping, so that's the 1 ounce of clusters. Oh man, it smells good. That went in the secondary fermenter for dry hopping, and it's in a glass carboy. And the great thing about this setup, you know, when you have a controlled environment, you can cold crash, which is what I'm doing right now. Fermented for 6 days in the primary. Check the final gravity, or check the gravity, and it had already bottomed out. So I moved it over to a secondary glass carboy and dry hopped, and it was in there for 6 days. And then I used the old Johnson controller and dropped her down to showing 35 degrees right now. So we'll just take a peek at it. It smells really good when I lift this thing up, and I need to get some more brews going so I can fill this bad boy up. But as you can see, the hops that are on top have already started falling where I've dropped the temperature. And I had read on cold crashing, and you know how it clears the beer. I did use a Whirlflock tablet on this brew, on this batch. I read different things about cold crashing and how long you do it. Different people do it different lengths of time. So I think today is Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. I started Tuesday cold crashing it last night, so I think I'm gonna go till Saturday, just for the heck of it. Some people go a week, 2 weeks, but I'm gonna go with that length of time, and then get that sucker in a keg and throw some CO2 to it and get it ready to drink. Since I'm moving to all grain, I wanted to step up, you know, my game a little bit and get some items that I would need, not necessarily have to have, but sure as make it more fun and more interesting, and I think give you better results from what I was doing anyway. So even though the brew in the bag was pretty easy, and I'm sure will produce better results than the extract I've been doing, I went ahead and bought a few more items. And the first item is BAM, my mash tun. Super stoked about that. Can't wait to use it for the first time. It's the 52 quart Coleman Extreme, y'all. Really simple to make. It was a real simple little project. I used the stainless steel braid. This cooler the Extreme cooler has a real thick insulation, which helps retain the heat for your mash a little better. So I've read, without having to lay blankets and all that on it. As you can see, I use the stainless steel braid. Pretty simple. I didn't video the process because there's so much on it out there on YouTube. There's no sense in me doing it, but I just used a brass ball valve, as you can see, with a 1/2-inch barb. The stainless steel braid, I cut it off here and here, put the little plug on the end of it, took out the this part, of course, comes out, and I left a little bit of that on the end here, like, I'll show you here, like this much of this insert was left on there, so I could put the braid back up over it and clamp it down. I know some people say something about these stainless steel clamps, the screws not being stainless. I'll just keep an eye on that. If they start to rust, I'll swap them out. The only problem I had with with finding the correct parts where I was at my local Lowe's didn't have all the washers and stuff that I saw others use, but I did find something that'll work. It's just a plastic washer that would fit on that 1/2 inch nipple. So then I just use the existing 1/2 inch connection from this piece to screw up on there. So it should work pretty well. Something else I did, and I'll throw pictures of it up, but what I did was I'd heard about this collapsing with different people, saying they'd have problems with this braid collapsing or getting mashed or whatever. So I took a piece of copper wire and I'll throw a picture up here and you'll see it when I put this video together, and inserted it inside this mesh. So you'll see what I did, and hopefully that'll keep it from collapsing. I know different people do it different ways, but some have put plastic tubing up in there with holes cut in it, different things, and thought I would go ahead and do that to keep that from happening. So there you go. There's the Extreme Mash Tun. Like I say, I can't wait to get it going and try that baby out with my first all grain brew, which hopefully is coming up soon. And of course, with all grain brew comes boil kettles, and I looked around for boil kettles for probably a week or so and said to heck with it. I started looking for beer kegs to convert to a Keggle, and of course here in the mighty town of Mayberry it's almost impossible to find a beer keg. They were on Craigslist and eBay, off from here in different places, and I did look up because we went out of town this past weekend for the 4th, and I popped on eBay and there were some close by to where I was going to be, so I scored a couple pretty decent prices, and I think they're really nice. Check them out. So I have two 15.5 gallon kegs that will be converted to Keggles. So what I'm going to do, actually what I've already started to do, and I'm not going to do all this process here. I may on the second one, but there's other videos that show this. You take out it's probably pretty loud. Take out the little retaining ring. Take this out. Pretty simple process. I drew a line, and then you start cutting this part out. Take this part off, and you have a kettle. As you can see, I attempted to start cutting with my little pitiful looking air compressor tank that doesn't hold enough air to do it. So I've got a buddy that's going to let me borrow his, and I'll get it cut out in a day or so. And I'll get me a weldless fitting to go in the side of this bad boy to be able to drain. So that's going to be my boil kettle. Right now I'm debating on whether to just still do my strike water and my sparge water on the stove and do my boil on the BIAB Classic SQ14 that I have coming. I'll show you that when it gets here. I don't know, I'm just going to work with it and change it up as needed to what I need for me, what suits me best. I don't have a great place outside to brew. I do have a deck, a wood deck, that I'll probably do it on. I was kind of wanting to move everything downstairs where my chest freezer is, that I ferment my beer, so I won't have to carry so much downstairs, but we'll see. We'll work it out as it goes. But anyway, there you go. There's the new toys, and looking forward to get all that together. I'll try to keep you updated on everything as I progress with it. Like I say, I don't know if I'll do videos on every little process because there's so much of that out there on YouTube anyway. But if you got any questions or anything about how I'm doing stuff, feel free to ask, and we'll see how it goes.